on.
All right, Ajna Global Tribal Collective. What I want to do is I want to make a short video. I'm not going to use music because my technology of my camera isn't great and I want you to hear my words. I'm going to show you the sword and arm positions, which are fairly easy to use because we can use almost all of the slow moves for the sword and arm positions. And I want you to show you each move with the position. And as you read in the notes about it, the most important thing we're going to be paying attention to is the angle of the blades. So right now, I am, cameraman, are you getting me, can you see the angle of my blades pretty good? The camera's a little bit over to the side. I'll try and angle a little bit to the camera. So you see how nice and flat the angle of my blades are. They're resting against my biceps, and I can have them in a vertical flat. This is called vertical flat. I can move them up, vertical horizontal, and see how beautiful those blades look. But we have to pay attention to the direction of the blades. When we come down to vertical horizontal, all I'm doing is resting them between my thumb and the palm of my hand. But this makes a nice open frame. Gravity is pulling them down. I don't have to manipulate them at all. My grip, my fingers just lightly go over the grip. But one of the things you have to remember when you're in this position is that your arms are going to need to be open just a little bit wider than normal. If my arms are too close, you're not going to see the audience is not going to see the nice flat of the blade. So you want the arms open just a slight bit further. When I take them over my head, they're just going to twist a little. Again, see that I can keep my hands free. They're being held by my thumb and the base of my hand, so they're just lightly resting over. If you start gripping them, you're going to pull them out of position. So you really want them nice and relaxed so that they maintain the beautiful flat side to the audience, and they'll see them as best as they can. So let's look at the moves that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing standing moves, and we're going to be doing turning moves. And again, there's the only modification you have to be aware of is the angle of the blade. And that can get a little bit tricky because we may be in some positions where the angle of the left blade is in a nice horizontal flat position, whereas the angle of the right blade is in the vertical flat position. And this would be something such as body wave. So without music, I'm going to walk through these moves with you. So we're going to start with the Taksim. And again, we've got our arms a little bit wider than normal so that we can have a nice presentation. We are not going to add arm undulations to this because that will take away from the framing of the beautiful Taksim and bring our attention to the props. And we really want the props to be used to frame the dancer and the ATS moves. So my hands are they're just resting. Gravity is using it to pull the swords in the proper position. When I move into the body wave, I'm going to make sure that the arm over my head is flat, in a flat vertical position, whereas the arm in my hand is just resting and gravity is taking it into the horizontal flat position. We can do the rib cage rotation, and again, the arms are just slightly further open to show the beautiful, frame the beautiful movement. We can do the torso twist, which again, just frames the beautiful movement. Don't forget the right arm as you finish the twist. I think I don't know if I said the rib cage rotation was the first one. So we can do the circle step, And we're going to bring our lower arm down so it's flat towards the audience. Our left arm is going to remain nicely balanced by gravity. And one thing about the circle step is we're not going to put the sword directly onto our body. We're going to need some space there because as we turn our hips with that circle step, if we had the sword directly on the hip, it would look all wonky. We would start going wonky. So we don't want to have it exactly touching the hip, just close down by it. We've got the beautiful camel, so we're going to start with our arms overhead, and look at how beautiful those nice flat blades are. And we're going to take the initial step. The blades are just going to change places, and again, they're retaining that nice vertical flat position. As we come back into our neutral balance, we're not going to do a torso twist with the arm. We're just going to do a modified body weight back into position, and we're going to do a slight rib cage rotation. So let me show you that again. Because we don't want a torso twist to take away the distraction with the arm. So I just use a modified rib cage rotation to pull us back into that. The last standing move is another beautiful move. We start with our arms over the head, and that is the loco camel. And we take our left arm down. Look at that beautiful position. We take the right arm down. Oop, and this is a turner's move. We turn around and we bring it up overhead. So we've got a nice, beautiful flow. And one thing I want to mention about turning moves, since this was a turning move, is we're going to keep the sword at the lowest point when we start the turn, and we're going to keep it at the lowest point when we end the turn. So this principle with this move is the lowest point. We're going to start the turn. We're not going to start bringing it up till after we come around front. And again, that's what the reason we do that is that it's just going to synchronize the dancers so much better. It's so easy to see any thing that is not synchronized when we have these big shiny props in our arms. So that's just a little minor hint to keep us all synchronized. So we're going to go into the reverse turn. Beautiful movement of the arms. We're going to bring it down. We're going to keep it there until we come back and go into a split position. And with this split position, remember that the left arm, gravity is pulling down. The right arm, we have to make it flat against the back arm. So to show you that one again, just going to come down, turn, and then go into the split. And the propeller turn, we're going to go one side, one side, one side, flick. Again, hold it down till you get to the front before you start raising your blade with the turn, because that will keep us all in sync. And also what I want you to do is remember that as we take it down, there's going to be, gravity is going to pull it down and it's going to go flat. Gravity is going to pull it down, then it's going to go flat on our bicep. Hold it down till the end, then we can bring it into a split position. We're going to do the corkscrew again. Goes into flat as it goes down into the horizontal position. It goes flat, comes back up. Starts the turn with the arms crossed in front, ends the turn with the arms crossed in front. So let me do that without commentary. So we never stop in any of these positions. We never stop for a pose. But if we keep in mind those little hints about starting the turn when the swords are at the lowest point and ending the turn with the swords at the lowest point, that will keep us nicely synchronized. We've got another beautiful turn, which is the wraparound turn. Again, you start with your arms slightly wider than normal. Beautiful positioning of the swords. Beautiful positioning of the swords. We come up. The turn is going to start when we get here, the arms are crossed. We're going to end the turn with the arms are crossed, and then we're going to raise it again. And to do that without commentary, beautiful move. We can also do the wrap drop. I'm going to go down on my knees, so be aware of that, Mr. Cameraman, who is my husband. So we're going to take it into wrap, turn, up, and beautiful turn. So let's look at the barrel turn. Follow the wall, follow the ceiling, follow the wall, come around up front. Again. That's pretty self-explanatory. The Sara turn, it's hard to keep any real angles with the Sara turn because we're moving a lot. So this is what we want to do. Start it. Take the nice waitress turn. Come back to the beginning. So the only thing I want you to pay attention to with this turn is we're going to start it. And just bring it around back. And this movement here, we want to make sure we bring it to the back diagonal. We want to get that torso twisting in a nice spiral. We want to turn around the sword that is anchoring us in our center so that we end back in the center. So again, I'll show you without commentary. And the nice, beautiful bend. We have the pulse turn. So what we're going to do with the pulse turn is we're going to start with our arms overhead. Again, look at the beautiful presentation of the blade. We're going to do the slight pulse, bring our arms down to a 45-degree angle, and look again, the blades are at a beautiful presentation. We're going to start turning around, and when we get to the front, we're going to cross our arms and bring them open. So again, without commentary. One more time. Beautiful move. Let's see, let me get a little closer to see my notes. Okay, I got 2 moves left. Hold in there, girls. We're going to get it done. We're going to do the rainbow, which again is going to show a beautiful presentation of the sword. So we're going to come over. We're going to just glide through the hand flareos. Going to come to the other side and just glide through the hand flareo. There's going to be no pause where we usually do the flareos. We're just going to follow the swords with our eyes and our head like normal, but there's going to be no pause with the flareo. So again, and the final move is going to be our strong arm and strong arm variations. Beautiful presentation to start. Take it around the back, bring it up, bring it down, and at this point, instead of pulling our arm up close to our side, we're going to bring it across and end overhead. So that's a minor modification at the end, just for clarification. So we're going to go one more time. Beautiful. And we can also do it with variation 1. We're going to cue the move. And variation 2. And again, we're going to circle the body to bring it up. So, I hope you have enjoyed that presentation. And if there's any questions, just go ahead and email me or put it on our Facebook, and we'll go from there. Thank you, lovely ladies.